Hello dear students, welcome to Okyanus YouTube channel. I am Tuana, teacher from Başarıya Okyanus Kolejleri. Today we are going to learn about the first 5 units of the 8th grades for LGS exam. We're going to basically look at grammatical structure. Let's start with the first unit, friendship. As you can see, in our first unit is based on with the suggestions. And we have 5 ways to suggest an offer or something to someone. Now here is the first one, let's. In basically it means let us to do something, offer something. We use this sentence form to someone. And as you can see, the structure is very easy with a let and also a plus simple verb form. Let's look at the example. Let's be close friends. As you can see, we used be verb in a simple form. We don't have to add any addings in here. Or the second example, let's meet at the city park at 7 o'clock. As you can see, we can add time and place in our structure. The second one is a question form. As you can see, the shall we. Using shall is another way to suggest or offer something, but in a questionary way. As you can see again, we don't have to add any addings to verb. The structure is very easy again. Only the question form of let's we can think. In here, we can use shall with I and also we. But when we use with I, it means we take permissions or we take any advice from someone to do something. That's why in suggestions we're going to use with we object. Shall we have a picnic? Shall we watch a horror movie? These are the question form suggestions. The third form of our unit, why don't we? Why don't we? Little bit different from the other suggestions because we use in here a negative form to ask, suggest, and offer. As you can see, why don't we have a barbecue next week? Who said this? The person who said this actually feel a lackness about doing or having a barbecue. That's why he or she says this. So I'm going to use why don't we when I feel a lackness in some situation. In our fourth suggestion form structure, we have 2 things which means same. How about and what about? These are the same structures that have same meaning. You can use any phrase or you can use any verb with the how about and also what about. In how about and what about, we need addings. You know, this is the difference from the others. As you can see, when you want to use a verb, you need to use a gerund actually. A gerund means a verb with an ing. As you can see again, how about going to the cinema tonight? In here, we add an ing to go verb. Or in here, what about playing soccer? As you can see again, with play verb, we used ing. This is the last form of suggestions. Would you like to or would you like we can say, because we can use would you like form in 2 different methods. The would you like, what is the difference of would you like? Firstly, I need to tell you, this is the formal way. You can use the would you like with, someone you aren't be sincere with them. In a restaurant, in business life, you can use in formal situations. And if I want to make an offer or suggest something with would you like, I have 2 options. The first one with verb. As you can see, if I want to use with a verb, I need to add necessarily to. Would you like to join us? To before the verb, we have to add and to the before verb. Or if I want to use would you like without verb, without action, I'm just going to say would you like and the object. Would you like some fruit juice? So this is the basic formal question you can see in a restaurant or business life. And now we have finished about suggestions. So I'm going to learn about accepting and refusing. So how can I answer these suggestions? I have to learn. Let's look at the first one, accepting. This is a positive thing to answer a question, a suggestion. A few phrases for accepting a suggestion. As you can see, this is the classic ways, cliche ways to say yes in a suggestion. That's a great idea. You can use any positive adjective in here to accept the suggestion or offer. Perfect, or why not? Why not looks like a negative form, but actually it has a positive meaning. That's why it includes in the accepting part. That sounds good or great, or you can put any adjective in here with positive. Thanks, I would love to. Of course, sure. These are the classical way to say yes to an offer. Refusing or rejecting, or in synonym, declining, we can say. You're going to see all of them in questions of your exam. So you need to be careful about what does it mean, what they are all means. And let's look at the rejecting or refusing or declining an offer. I would prefer, I can say, I would prefer something else that you offered to me. So I don't prefer your suggestion or your offer, we can say. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, but I can't. This is the classical way to refuse somebody politely. That's a good idea, but this is important because but means contrary, opposite things, but links to opposite idea in a sentence. That's why when we see but, we're going to understand it's going to be a rejection. It's not accepting. Like in here, that's a good idea, but I have to do many things at home, or I have an exam that night. I would love to, but again, same phrases, same structure. I would love to, but I have an appointment that day, so I can't come with you, like that. And the last thing we're going to learn in that first subject is excuses. When you decline a suggestion, you need to say an excuse to be polite, to give a reason maybe. In here, as you can see, we have some examples for you. I'm not sure, Philippe is not my favorite. How about Fearless Farmers? As you can see, he or she gives the excuse, Philippe is not my favorite, and offers something new as an excuse. I would love to, but I have to finish my project tonight. So I have a project, it's my reason, it's my excuse why I can't come with you, but I would love to do it. I prefer watching comedy to horror. The person who said this means actually, I don't like horror movies. That's why I have an excuse why I didn't do that suggestion with you. Our second subject is be going to. Be going to has a future meaning, but what is the usage of be going to? For to use that structure, we need two reasons. One of them is basically intentions, future intentions that we have already planned or decide or arranged before the time of the speaking, time of the saying this sentence. Let's look at the example. I'm going to fly to Istanbul on the 15th of May. So it means I have booked my ticket. It was a plan before I said this sentence. So this was decided before, already decided, then I speak with you. The second reason why we use be going to is basically when we predict something with an evidence or with a sign. I need to have an evidence to make a prediction about out of my control things, like the weather conditions or about somebody else. Let's look at the example again. It's going to rain. So if I say this, it's going to rain, it means I can see dark clouds on the air. So this is my evidence why I'm going to say it's going to rain, not it will rain. My sister is going to have a baby. So if I say this, I can see that my sister has a belly as an evidence. So that's why we can see that she is pregnant. So these are our evidence to say surely it will be something in there. The other forms of be going to in negative, affirmative, and questionary. Now we're going to look some examples of this. I'm not going to take any exams at the end of the year because I know that my exams have finished already. This is for surely. It's not going to snow again soon because the weather is sunny and hot recently. So I have an evidence on my hand, so I can say this. Are you going to reply to this invitation? This is the questionnaire form of be going to. Now let's look at present continuous to talk about near future. Maybe you can surprise because generally we use will and be going to make predictions or to talk about future. But sometimes we can use present continuous to talk about future too. I'm not, mention about the very later future. It's very soon future, like a couple days later or next week, like that. It should be soon future, not like the 3 years later or 5 years later. The present continuous, as you can see, refer the future meaning in sentence. But again, what is the usage of present continuous tense in future, near future meaning? When I plan something before the time of the speaking, like in the first rule of be going to, I can use present continuous to mention about my plan. I am taking the train to Paris tomorrow. So my travel, my journey has planned before. Maybe I have booked my ticket already. So this is the plan. She is seeing a dentist tomorrow at 1 p.m. So this is an appointment with a doctor. So I can say this, that I planned this before, so I can use future continuous. Now we are going to look at what is the difference between future continuous as a future meaning, present continuous as a future meaning, and also be going to as future meaning. We don't normally use present continuous tense to use near future about something that are out of our control. Like the weather conditions that I mentioned before to you. Like in here, let's look at the example. You're going to understand me better what I mean. It's going to snow before long. I have to use going to in here because I can't use present continuous tense something outside of my control. The weather conditions, I don't manage it. That's why I can't use present continuous tense in here, not it's snowing before long. I have to say it is going to snow before long. That's all. Thank you for listening to me.